Good morning, everyone. I am Guadalupe Lomar. I'm Miss World Argentina. I am 21 years old, and I'm a student of translation and a teacher of English. Values have always been my guide. Since I was a child, I was taught about the importance of family, of being responsible, and of having a good heart. Sometimes in this modern world, we're told that being an empathetic person is a weakness. But today I'm here to prove otherwise. I consider myself a privileged person. I always had a plate of food, a roof over my head, a jacket in the cold, and ice cream in the hot, good education, and a present family. But I'm well aware that that's not a reality for everyone. That's why I founded Misionando. I always felt a deep connection with children. I think it is because I see their innocence and I see myself reflected in their huge dreams. But sometimes that sparkle in their eyes is lost because of the injustice of life. In a study made by UNICEF in 2024, it is shown that 7 million children are poor in Argentina, and 1.5 of them 1 million of them skip meals because of the scarcity of resources. I founded Misionando because I would like to build a bridge that connects those in need with those that have the opportunity to help. And as I always say, we all have something to share. Maybe it's money or materials, but sometimes it's time and love. I truly believe that children should be children. They shouldn't be worried whether they're having dinner or not, if they had raised enough money to go home and not be heated, or if they have the tools to go to school. As the founder, I'm in charge of every step of this homemade but full of love project. It started back at home with the desire to take it beyond frontiers. But for now, I collect donations in my house. I help my little cousin help me pack and deliver them with my mom. But what I want is to give those children their dignity and their rights back. Till today, I've donated school kits, plates and glasses, toys, clothing. I've helped open a new support children's center and a library for it, and also raised money for different causes. I always felt a calling in me to help others since I was young, and I think that calling is inside all of us. It's just that sometimes we are too afraid to listen to it. Today, I'm wearing this dress that is a visual representation of the power of one small act. I, I have pink fingerprints all over my skirt that are from those children who benefited from Misionando. I wanted to take them with me on this journey, but also I wanted, most importantly, to raise their voices worldwide. We have the opportunity to protect these children. They need us, and we have the chance to be their voice and to be their hope. I would like to invite all of you to add your hands in the Misionando tree. We all have hands, different, of course. Some are bigger, others smaller, different colors, but what they have in common is the power, the amazing power they have when united. So let's grab each other's hand and let's make a meaningful change. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Argentina. And now we invite Belize to join us.
They say purpose gives pain a voice. And when you listen closely, that voice can change lives forever. Good day, I am your Shayari Murataya, Miss World Belize. And my Beauty with a Purpose project was born from listening. Listening to the silent struggles of kidney patients across my country, to the quiet cries of families burdened by treatment costs, and to the undeniable call God placed on my heart to serve. In Belize, kidney failure is one of the leading causes of death. Each week, new names are added to dialysis waitlists. Many of these people had no idea they were even at risk. Over 60% of our cases are linked to diabetes and high blood pressure, both preventable and manageable conditions if only the knowledge reached in time. But the problem just isn't the disease, it's the silence around it. It's the silence, and I knew I couldn't remain silent any longer. Nearly 3 years ago, I launched a national kidney health campaign with one goal: to educate, empower, and save lives. Through this mission, I've traveled across Belize, hosting free clinics in rural and urban communities, offering vital health checks for blood pressure, glucose, and kidney functions. For some, these clinics were the first time they had ever had access to such services. I've walked into classrooms to teach children and teens how to care for their bodies, created engagement educational materials in both English and Creole, and partnered with local medias to broadcast messages of awareness to thousands. I wanted to make kidney health more than a medical topic. I wanted to make it part of our national conversation. But the work went beyond the numbers. I sat beside patients during dialysis. I held hands with family members as they navigated the pain of losing loved ones. I witnessed the strength it takes to fight this disease without resources and the courage it takes to keep going anyway. That strength is what fuels me. To extend the reach of my mission, I became a proud member of Lions International, a global movement rooted in kindness and action. While Lions doesn't have a specific pillar for kidney disease, it passionately advocates for diabetes prevention. Through my work with the Lions, I know to help deliver programs for young people, combining my mission with theirs and empowering the next generation to take charge of their health. This project is not just about kidneys. It's about creating a healthier, more informed Belize. It's about community. It's about dignity. And above all, it's about hope. Beauty with a Purpose is not just a campaign for me. It's a way of life. It's the embodiment of a deeper calling, one that reflects the greatest example we've ever known, Jesus, who came not to serve, who came not to be served, but to serve. And like him, I chose to lead through love, through action, and through unwavering faith. More than 850 million people worldwide are living with chronic kidney disease. Most don't even know it. But if I can be the voice that sparks a conversation or the hand that helps someone when they're in need, then every moment of this journey has been worth it. I may wear a crown, but I carry something far more important: a mission rooted in service, powered by compassion, and destined to continue long after the spotlight fades. This is my beauty with a purpose. This is the legacy I chose to build. And by God's grace, I will keep serving. One life, one heartbeat, and one act of love at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Belize. Please now welcome to the stage Bolivia.
Good morning. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to represent Bolivia and want to thank my parents for always supporting me and my dreams. I feel very grateful to be here today. Before I share my stories in Spanish, I would like to say Miss World is not only a beauty pageant, it is a chance to show who we really are and what we care about. Today, I will open my heart to all of you and share my history. Desde muy pequeña me gustó bailar, cantar, actuar. El arte fue lo que me hizo conectar con mi esencia y poder aprender a soñar.
From a very young age, I enjoyed dancing, singing, and acting. It was through art that I connected with my essence.
A mis 16 años, mi vida dio un giro completamente.
When I was 16, my life completely changed.
Mi papá, mi inspiración, sufrió un derrame cerebral que lo dejó parapléjico y sin el poder de hablar.
My dad, my biggest inspiration, suffered a stroke and he got paralyzed and couldn't speak.
Eso marcó un antes y después en mi adolescencia, lo cual hizo que crezca el deseo en mí de servir y ayudar a los demás en sus propias batallas.
That marked a before and after in my teenage years, and it awakened in me the desire to help and serve others.
Por eso fue que decidí unirme como voluntaria y embajadora a una organización llamada Santa Cruz Siempre Verde.
That's why I decided to use my voice for something bigger, and I joined as a volunteer and ambassador for Santa Cruz Siempre Verde.
Ellos se encargan de actuar en emergencias ambientales en Bolivia.
They are in charge of taking care of
Emergencias ambientales en Bolivia.
environmental emergencies in Bolivia.
En los últimos 5 años, Bolivia ha perdido más de 10 millones de hectáreas por los incendios forestales.
In the last 5 years, Bolivia have lost over 10 million hectares due to wildfires.
El 2024, junto a Santa Cruz Siempre Verde, plantamos 5.000 árboles e implementamos educación ambiental a cientos de niños y adolescentes.
In 2024, we planted 5,000 trees and we provided environmental education to hundreds of children and teens,
sembrando en ellos una semilla de esperanza y de conciencia.
planting hope and consciousness in them.
Pero no fue hasta que conocí la comunidad indígena Yorea Poza Verde que conocí la verdadera palabra, el verdadero significado de la palabra necesidad.
But it wasn't until I visited an indigenous Ayorea community called Poza Verde that I learned the real meaning of the word necessity.
Al llegar ahí, encontrarme con calles de tierra, colegios sin pupitres y niños que me miraban con emoción en los ojos, pero que al mismo tiempo gritaban en silencio por ayuda.
When I arrived, I saw dirty roads, school with no desk, and children with emotion in their eyes, but I could see through their faces that they were in silent calling for help.
Escuchando al cacique de la comunidad contarme sobre las enfermedades que estas personas estaban sufriendo por el agua potable,
Listening to the leader of the community speak about the diseases they were suffering because of the lack of clean water,
me rompió el corazón y en ese momento supe que tenía una misión.
it broke my heart, and in that moment I knew I had a mission.
Así fue que nació Fuentes de Esperanza, un proyecto que busca llevar agua potable a comunidades olvidadas.
That's how Fuentes de Esperanza was born, a project that wants to take this initiative to give drinkable water to different and for an effort we were able to build a firewall.
Ayudando así a 258 familias y garantizando que estos niños, mis niños, puedan crecer en un lugar seguro.
Helping 258 families. And in that way, children, my children, are able to grow in a safe place.
Verlos correr hacia mí gritándome, tía Olga, me hace recordar la razón de mi lucha.
Hearing them running to me and calling me Auntie Olga reminds me of the reason why I'm doing this.
Fuentes de Esperanza no es solo un proyecto, es una promesa de vida, dignidad y esperanza.
Fuente de Esperanza is not just a project, it's a promise of life, dignity, and hope.
Y hoy estoy aquí parada frente a todos ustedes y en esta gran plataforma que es el Miss World para demostrar que cuando uno hace las cosas de corazón,
Today, I'm standing here in front of all of you and in the pageant of Miss World to show to you
cuando uno hace las cosas de corazón, el cambio es posible.
that when we do the things with our hearts, things are possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bolivia. And now please welcome Brazil.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Jessica Pedroso. I'm 25 years old, and I'm proudly representing Brazil at the 72nd Miss World edition. And what if I told you that the most powerful resource we have is something as simple as a pen and a book? With them, we can write stories, we can create things, and we can truly understand the impact we have in the world. Everything we have, every great invention, every great thinker, everything is started like that, with a pen and a book. I came from a family of teachers, and that's very meaningful to me because I could see all the work that my mother and grandmother did in people's lives. And I learned with them that education is not a job, it's a mission. And I started teaching at the age of 16, and education became my life mission. And then I started my studies in literature, pedagogy, and languages. But unfortunately, we see that education, that is a right for all, is still a privilege for few. And that's why back in Brazil, I work very close to Lar Franciscano, a shelter in my city that provides not only food and the basic needs, but support so they can have everything they need to give a step forward in their lives. And that's when Pescar project comes in. Pescar is one of the biggest educational projects in Brazil. Pescar in Portuguese means to fish. Give a man a fish and you teach him for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's exactly the motto of this project. And I'm very honored to work in this as a volunteer teacher. I brought the English subject to them, not only to empower them with the language, but to connect them with the world, with different cultures. Last year, I could see 14 of my students graduating, and they left vulnerability behind, and they stand tall for their futures, and they were capable to write their own stories with their own hands. And that's such a privilege for me. But we need more than that. We need global governments to invest in education, to promote awareness, and to support teachers. We need partnerships, global partnerships, to truly reach those in poverty, those in need. And I'm very honored to be here and to share my project because when we give someone a book and a pen, we are not only giving them tools, we are giving them wings to fly high and to reach their dreams. And we are here all not only representing our countries, but together we are the whole world. And that's so powerful. For the period of 10 years, I wrote a book, and it's called The Beauty of Being Imperfect. And I wrote this to highlight that we are human, and we have fears, we have mistakes, we have vulnerability. It's very hard to be here right now, because that's normal, we are humans. And that's nothing more beautiful than that. We really need to embrace who we are. And I want every one of us live here today inspired to write new stories, stories of love, compassion, unity, because big revolutions don't start with weapons, but we start with knowledge, with education. And all of this starts with something as simple as a pen and a book. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brazil. The next contestant is Canada.
Wache. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emma Morrison, and I stand before everyone here today proudly as the first Indigenous woman in history to ever represent Canada here at the Miss World Festival. Saying that out loud is truly brings me so much pride and joy because I grew up from a very small First Nations community of only 600 people in Canada. And growing up, I've seen the struggles that we face, particularly Indigenous women and girls. Because I was born with Native ancestry, I am 12 times more likely to fall victim of homicide on my own native land. And Indigenous peoples in Canada still face the effects of the residential school system, which was a system designed to take children away from their homes, force them to attend these boarding schools, and take away their culture, their language, and their spirit, often costing them their lives. Over the years, over 10,000 unmarked graves have been found at these residential school sites, including my aunt and uncle's grave. So I stand. So knowing all of this, growing up, it shaped the way that I seen the world and my place in it. So I felt very small. But my mother, she transformed that sorrow into a purpose. And she truly taught me how to care for others and how to forgive. And we transformed our home into a foster home, where we have fostered over 15 Native children and made an impact in their lives. And this all led for me to develop my Beauty with a Purpose project, Ribbons, which is focused on Native empowerment through cultural empowerment, personal motivation, and financial support. It started through sewing ribbon skirts, which is a traditional piece of clothing in my culture, worn by Indigenous women to feel strength. And I have made over 40 ribbon skirts throughout the years. And then I became a motivational speaker, partnering with an international Indigenous-led company that promotes confidence in youth. And we have spoken to over 10,000 students across Canada and spoken to over 30 schools within my nation, reminding Native children to be proud of their cultural identity. And lastly is my pride and joy, and that's the Ribbons Bursary, which I developed to help the young Native girls who attend my former elementary school buy everything that they need in order for them to have an opportunity and chance at life, whether that be school supplies, hygiene products, anything. And I've raised close to $10,000 for this cause. But my most precious moment and my inspiration to this day is a young girl named Paris. Paris is 9 years old and she faced a tragic loss where her entire family was killed in a car accident. So as a young Native girl going through many struggles, I knew that I wanted her to be the first recipient of my Ribbons Bursary. And when she came to my home and she seen the mountain of school supplies that I got for her, and her aunts saying, "Miigwech, ama, miigwech," this reaffirmed my purpose that I need to help more young girls like Paris everywhere. Ribbons is my entire spirit as a Native woman. And being the first Indigenous woman to win Miss World Canada, I know that that means nothing if I do not pave the road for others to follow. So I use my voice to advocate for those who are still fighting to be heard. So please join me in Ribbons so I can expand my initiative across Canada and across the globe to make sure that all Native children, women, and people everywhere are seen, heard, and empowered. because just like ribbons, we are stronger when we are tied together. Miigwech, thank you.
Thank you very much, Canada. Please welcome now Cayman Islands.
Good day, everyone. Namaste. My name is Jada Ramoon, and I am a 26-year-old programs coordinator with the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce. In my job, I manage all of the programs that have been implemented within the Cayman Islands community to ensure that our youth are able to go into society and live productive lives, whether this is through entrepreneurship skills or basic life skills. When I'm not at work, you'll find me repping it out in the gym. For 3 years, I have been a natural bodybuilder, and I can definitely say that bodybuilding and fitness has been a lifestyle and a lifeline. When I'm not in the gym, you'll find me in a good book. Since I was a little girl, I've loved reading, and I've also studied literature, and for 2 years, I was a journalist. And finally, I'll tell you about my guilty pleasure. That is karaoke. I've given myself the appointed title of karaoke queen, and I'll stick with it. I come from the land of pale emerald seas and soft, fresh breezes, where it is summer all year round, and the breeze is like a kiss on the cheek, and that is none other than the beautiful Cayman Islands. But today, I'm not here to talk about sunshine or sea breeze. I'm here to talk about the quiet storm that no one sees. In the Cayman Islands, 1 in 3 students has thought about ending their lives, and 13% of them have tried. I don't read these numbers just as statistics, because I was also one of those numbers. At the age of 16, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I lost myself. I was surrounded by people, but I felt invisible. I smiled every day, but inside I was screaming. I would lie awake at night with a heart that would not stop racing and a mind that would not stop whispering, "You are not enough, and you'll never be enough." I was drowning quietly in a world that doesn't necessarily hold space for sadness. But in my darkest moments, outside of the support from my loving family and therapy, a light reached out to me. The Alex Panton Foundation was that light that helped save me. They saw me when I felt unseen. They listened when I had no words. They reminded me that healing isn't linear, but it is possible. That is the moment my purpose was born. My beauty with a purpose is not just about survival. It's about making sure no one else feels the kind of silence that nearly stole my life. It's about breaking the chains of stigma and building bridges to hope. And for me, that hope came through something unexpected: movement. I created an initiative called Mindful Movement because fitness didn't just build my body, it rebuilt my spirit. Every push up, every rep, every drop of sweat was a prayer. It was me telling my pain, "You do not own me anymore." Now, through Mindful Movement, I aim to partner with local gyms and wellness professionals to create safe spaces where people can heal, not just physically, but emotionally. We move our bodies to quiet our minds, and we lift weights to lift the weights off of our hearts. Because depression is real, anxiety is real, but so is hope, and so is healing. So is the strength that rises within you when you feel you have nothing left. To anyone out there who feels like they are breaking, please hear me. Your story isn't over. You are not a burden, and you are not weak. You are human, and you are loved. I was once a statistic. Now I am a voice for the voiceless, a light for those in the dark. This is my beauty, and this is my purpose, and I give it to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Cayman Islands. Please now welcome Chile.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Francisca Lavandero, and I will represent my beautiful country, Chile, in the south of the world. I am 25 years old, and I am a commercial pilot of airplane. When I was young, I saw a commercial on a TV about a national airline, and the pilot was a woman. She inspires me with her history, and now I want to demonstrate to the new generation of girls that nothing is impossible. In this moment, only 5 or 6% of pilots around the world are women. Also, I did high jump and long jump in the school, and I have a foundation called AES. And now, if God had a face, what would it look like? Can you imagine it? Since I was born, elderly people have been a fundamental part of my life. My mother was raised by her grandmother, and because of her, she is the woman she is today. My grandfather started working at the age of 5 years old. While other children played, he worked to survive. And like him, thousands of seniors dedicate their lives to building our society. But today, when they need us the most, what do they receive from us? In my country, more than 50% of elderly people live alone or in negligent conditions. During the pandemic, my grandparents got sick with COVID. They were hospitalized, bedridden, fighting for their lives. My grandmother remained immobile for 2 years until she passed away. But she had something that many don't have: love. Because there are those who die without anyone to mourn them. I have visited homes where seniors sleep on the floor, where they go days without food, where their only companion is loneliness. People who gave everything and now are forgotten. I couldn't just stand by. That is why I created AES, a foundation that fights to ensure no elderly person dies abandoned. How do we do this? We don't just provide food or shelter, we restore dignity. We have created a network of volunteers who visit them on important dates, organize awareness campaigns, hold events with local government and businesses, run health and wellness programs. But above all, we remind them that they still matter. AES is not only a foundation, it's a movement. We want the world to understand that growing old should never mean being forgotten. And if God had a face, what would it look like? Can you imagine it? For me, the face of God is us. Each and every one of us in service to others. Every act of help, every gesture of love, every moment we dedicate to others is God reflected in us. Thank you so much, and namaste.
Thank you, Chile. Thank you. Right, would you now please welcome Colombia?
Hello, everyone. My name is Catalina Quintero, and I'm the proudly representative of my beautiful country, Colombia, at this wonderful stage of Miss World. I really want to say that I'm an international business manager. I also have a minor in sustainability and circular economy. I'm fluent in English and Spanish, but I also speak French and I'm learning Portuguese. I used to work as at the administrative area of a company in commerce and international logistics. From a very young age, I used to know the importance of serve others because of my dad. The history of my dad really improved myself to help others because he used to be a very poor children when he was young. And right now is the owner of a big company at Colombia, a beautiful company that he makes. But he never lose their values and principles. He run a foundation to help children from sexual workers at my country. And I have a quote of Maria Teresa del Calcutta that is, if you don't live to serve, you don't deserve to live. That's why I'm the ambassador of the first hospice in Colombia and almost the first one in all Latin America. We want to give them quality of life, care, medicines, love, and also we want to give for both their our patients and their families. Um, we are a team. We are a team with Palatine missionaries as Miroslav and Marius that inspires ourselves in successful structures from Poland. That's why we have almost domiciliary services of hospice already in Colombia, and we will have uh, everything to build this dream at my beautiful country. I leave you with my favorite quote that is, if you can't add days to your life, then add life to your days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colombia. Now, please welcome Curacao.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, world. Good morning, Telangana. Before I start my speech, I want to extend my gratitude to the Miss World organization for giving us this opportunity to let our voice be a change and to let us voice be echoed to our many, many, many borders. So I want to say a thank you to that, Telangana, Dhanyavadu, Telangana Sarorana. As a woman that believes in catalyst of change, I understand the power of leading with both heart and also leading with a purpose. I believe in sustainable impact. To help my Beauty with a Purpose project, I started it since I was 17 years old. Now I have 5 years that I'm doing it. I started this project because I couldn't work. I didn't have enough of resources, so I started volunteering, giving dance therapy to elderly, dance therapy with people with disabilities, dance therapy with also individuals with Down syndrome, and also with youth and also with children. My mission was to give an impact. My mission was to be standing in the gap when people felt overlooked and people felt that they were not enough. So that's why I wanted to start my Beauty with a Purpose project. I want to be a trailblazer. I know that already Miss World gave a Caribbean girl opportunity in 1970 in Boston. They gave her an opportunity, but I want to be a trailblazer for my country. I see a lot of potential in myself. I know a lot of Caribbean are seeing me right now, and I know that Miss World is giving us an opportunity. And I continue, that's why I love this competition because they give us a voice and give countries with less than 2,000, less than 200,000 people a chance to prove to the world that we are capable and we are enough and we can prove. So one more time, thank you to the Miss World organization. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Curacao. Now, please welcome Dominican Republic.
Purpose doesn't always come from achievement. Sometimes it is born out of pain. There's no moments in which everything just starts feeling different. Not because everything's perfect, but because life has given you a privilege to do something greater than yourself. Something that is no longer about you. Something that it's about the people who you serve, who you love, and who you touch. That's something I learned when I was just 14 years old. By that time, I had fulfilled many dreams, but I felt that something was missing, and it was the desire to do something for people in order to begin living. Namaste, India. My name is Mara Delgado. I'm 23 years old, and I represent the Dominican Republic. I come from a traditional family whose sample taught me all the values I carry with me today. But that the most important thing in life is not what you have, but what you're willing to give. Since I was a child, I believed that education was the most important tool to change the world. That is why I got a scholarship to study business administration and management. And also I got a certification in disruptive strategy at Harvard Business School. Well, that's one of the most important achievements I have in my professional life. Today, I'm the president of Premium Class Marine Academy, which is a project that we empower child, young ladies, and also women through leadership and self-esteem. Also, I'm very passionate about communication. I'm now the reporter of Univision New York, where we launch Ventana Quisqueya, which is a segment through which we fulfill all the things we have in the Dominican Republic. But what really fills me, it's serve to others. When I was just 14 years old, I started my very first social project. It was Manos Surcadas, a foundation that focused on helping elders abandoned in nursing homes. But it was just in 2021 where I founded my second nonprofit organization, which is actually my Video with a Purpose project. It's focused on the prevention, early detection, and diagnostic of breast cancer. In the Dominican Republic, breast cancer is the most common cancer. In the 2023, for example, there was like 3,400 new cases diagnosed, and 1,400 cases led to death to so many women. And this project was born from my inner pain of losing like a second mother to me. And we try to provide them with breast screening campaigns multiple times a year in vulnerable communities in different areas of the Dominican Republic. Just imagine having a person that you really love suffering from an illness that maybe will take their life and you cannot do anything about it. That was my story. In my country, there's a lot of people that do not have access to this kind of resources. We use medical equipment with high-tech technology, with artificial intelligence, and we try to help them with all the things we have. But our transformation goes beyond that. We try to provide them with psychological support and also with self-esteem workshops. And there's a lot of people that have supported us. And we have recognized from different institutions such as the Chamber of Deputies of the Dominican Republic, also the Dominican Consulate in New York, and the Ministry of Youth. This work has not gone unnoticed as well. But at the end of the day, I think that the most important thing is to provide those resources with your opportunities. And that is why I am here as Miss World Dominican Republic, because I believe in the power of beauty with a purpose. I believe in the power of unity. And I believe that we can raise our voices for our communities. And as Martin Luther King once said, the most urgent question in life is, what are you doing for others? Thank you.
Thank you, Dominican Republic.
I ran a book that shared all the impact we have had in the Dominican Republic as a gift for you, if it's possible to hand it to you.
There we are. Thank you. And now, Ecuador.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Namaste, India. I am Sandra Alvarado, And right now, I have the honor to speak for Ecuador through my voice. First of all, what I want you to know is that the biggest tool that I have right now to talk with you is just my open heart. Because I want to speak not exactly about me, I want to speak about my people that definitely need me in this moment, in this political moment of Ecuador. So, if I have to talk a little bit about me, I will start talking about my family. My father is a lawyer and a musician, and he taught me how to feel through music, but how to act through love. My mom is my biggest inspiration, and for me, she is the meaning of a truly beauty with a purpose. She is a childhood educator, so I grew up seeing her educating with so much love, with so much passion. And that's why right now I am a lawyer by profession, a musician by profession, but I am a teacher by vocation. So thank you very much, Mom, for having me here, for believing in me in my best, but also in my worst. I love you. So, in this way, let me ask you something. What happens to a child who grows up in a place where dreaming is not allowed? What I want you to know is that in this moment, when I am taking this microphone, there are more than 17 millions, 70,000 of children in my country that are taking weapons. That's what's happening in my country right now, where I am with this microphone. So that's why I pursued my own purpose. I found my purpose. I started my journey with El Rincón del Futuro. The name is The Future Corners in English. And it's an organization that brings education, extracurricular subjects as music, art, dance to them so they can open their minds and understand that there is other ways to exist, not just around weapons and violence, that they can't choose. I have 2 years as a Miss World Ecuador, so definitely I decided to look at that like an opportunity. So I had the opportunity to came last year to India to attend to Miss World 71st edition to support my last Miss World Ecuador, but also to find answers. So I visited Mumbai Smiles as a way to learn, to discover, and to get inspired so that I can continue with my legacy in my beauty with a purpose in my country. I get inspired by one project that is called Mumbai Smiling Bus. That is a place where they bring education to those places in rural areas. Now, I couldn't start with a bus, but I could start with a mobile board that brings education to those rural areas, and that's amazing because that's the way the Miss World acts. That's a way to inspire. And now we are building that gap together between India and Ecuador. And for me, that's something amazing. Right now, what I want you to know is that then of 2 years as the reigning Miss World Ecuador, I discovered that the prize is not already in my head because the crown is not in my head, it's in my heart. When you have a lot of uncertainties, you discover that you are not here to feel pretty or beautiful just because you have something in your head. There is a voice. The crown is not a reward, it's a voice. It's a responsibility. And now I have feel that my purpose is done because now I can speak for my people. And I just want to encourage all of you to be part of my journey. And as well, I want to be part of yours because definitely education is the way to gap the future. And remember, many small people doing small things in small places can change the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ecuador. And now, El Salvador.
Hi, world. It's a pleasure for me to introduce myself with you. I am Sofía Estupinian, and I am proud of representing El Pulgarcito de América, El Salvador. I am 25 years old. I have a communications degree, and I am an entrepreneur woman in the advertising world. I am fortunate to have my own business, Coco Advertising Agency, or in my language, Spanish, Coco Agencia de Publicidad. It has been formally registered company for over a year, but I started it while I was still in college, helping brands in different areas I am passionate about, such as digital marketing, graphic design, photography, video production, social media, event planning, and more. I am a resilient, creative, and committed woman, and I am always eager to try something new. And thanks to my professional career, I have had the opportunity to meet many entrepreneurial women in El Salvador. Through them, I saw the necessity to provide education in digital marketing to help them grow their businesses and reach new markets. Today, every business needs to have a presence on social media, and that is why I create Ellas Crecen, or They Grow. Ellas Crecen is a social empowerment program aimed at strengthening the entrepreneurial spirit of women leaders in El Salvador. In They Grow, I provide valuable knowledge and training on how to leverage the social media as a powerful tool in digital marketing and businesses. Through practical workshops, personalized mentoring, and access to business tools. In El Salvador, 60% of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises are led by women, and I am one of them, showcasing the resilience of Salvadorian women. The true success of the program is measured when a woman is able to transform her reality thanks to what she has learned it. And I would like to expand my program with many more women around the world. Because if today we support a woman in her dreams and her goals, tomorrow we can transform in a stronger and more independent communities of women leaders. Thank you so much.
So well done, El Salvador. And now we come to Guadeloupe.
Good morning, everyone. Handariki Namaskaram. I am Noemi Mil, Miss World Guadeloupe, and I'm so grateful to be here today. So I would like to start with a quick story. I remember, since a very young age, feeling like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. So that's why at 16, I entered medical school, graduating in 2021, then specializing in psychiatry. At that time, I was full of hope. But then I quickly faced the limits of the system we live in. In our world, one person takes their own life every 40 seconds. 970 million people live with a mental disorder, and chronic preventable diseases account for 75% of global deaths. And every day I ask myself, what if we had the right tools? Because we treat the body but ignore the mind. We treat the mind, but ignore the heart. And we treat the heart, but ignore the soul. I studied psychotherapy, mindfulness therapy, ancient healing practices, and I even graduated in criminal psychology beside my medical studies. But something was always missing. So I created a solution, the Worldwide Healing Program, in 2020. That's a holistic preventing program directly aligned with 9 Sustainable Development Goals. We teach people how to rise thanks to inner work, by helping them align body, mind, and soul. And it works because we have already helped over 1 million people, reaching more than 2 million views online. But I know we can go further by collaborating with Miss World's global reach and platform. During that time, I also published my first book about human consciousness, and it reached the top 3 on Amazon within weeks. I was really surprised, but it confirmed that I am aligned with my life mission. I would like you to imagine a world where we wake up in the morning with love, gratitude, and purpose in our families and in our hearts. That's the society I would like to create, thanks to my 50-year vision. But I need you. I need us to unite together to make this happen. You know, I know what it is to smile in public but cry in private because I faced cyberbullying, a reality 95% of content creators experience and 50% of children experience. Last year, I lost my father while I was working in burnout 6,000 kilometers away from home. But still, I rose thanks to these tools, the same tools I am sharing today for free. So that's my goal, that's my beauty with a purpose, and that's why I am here at Miss World today. Thank you, Dania Badalu.
Thank you very much, Guadalupe. Our next contestant comes from Guatemala.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Jamie. I am grateful to be here today. I am a woman who learned to speak not only myself, but for those that are not heard. Many children around the world are marginalized to the socioeconomic condition and multiple disabilities, and Guatemala is no exception. But I refuse to let that define my future. I reached my dream, and today I can say I did it. Now I have the power to be the voice for these children. My social project is linked to my personal story. I lived an environment of rejection and discrimination. Latidos de Luz is a project that seeks to raise awareness and empower children and young people with multiple disabilities. This initiative is aligned with Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which focus quality education, and focus in goal number 10, which aims to reduce inequalities. These goals address biggest challenges to children, the right to receive quality, inclusive, and quality education. My purpose is to inspire through my example. My commitment is to build a more inclusive future where every child has access to education. Because for me, you only have a real life if you really have a purpose in your life. I would like to share message in Spanish is ser reina es un privilegio. Porque la verdadera belleza es la sonrisa de quienes por fin pueden ser y sentirse vistos. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we now move to Guyana.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, fellow contestants, citizens of the world. Today, I stand before you not only as a contestant, but as a proud daughter of Guyana, a nation where the rivers run deep, the land is filled with culture, and the hearts of the people beat with resilience and strength. I am from Region 10, a region known for its beauty, but even more so for the strength of its people. I have seen firsthand the challenges faced by my family, including children struggling to read, youths yearning for opportunities, and a world where they are not included. My purpose in life is shaped by the love, resilience, and the silent strength of one person, my brother, who has lived with severe disability for 21 years. He is the reason I believe in a world where every child must be included. This belief became the foundation of my Beauty with a Purpose project, Read, Rise, and Shine. I built the world's first ever solar-powered mobile library, bringing books and educational resources directly to the underserved communities. But this is not just a library on wheels. It is an innovation hub of learning. In generating IXL adaptive platform, these children can now read directly from home. They can have access to traditional classrooms with this mobile library. We are expanding in many regions, giving every children the opportunity to rise, dream, and lead. A dream that started in a single community is now expanding to a larger scale: movement, inclusion, and literacy. I represent a country of unity, love, and vision. I represent children that are different and excluded, families just like mine who have fought for them to have a chance. But this journey is not just about me or my brother. It's about all of us choosing to rise together and making the world more inclusive. The Miss World crown is not a symbol of personal achievement. It is a promise built on solution decades old. A promise for us to uplift, strive, stand tall, not in front of others, but besides them, growing as we climb and striving as we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Haiti is next. Thank you very much. Please welcome Haiti.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christy Guillaume, and I'm proudly representing Haiti. I was born on March 8, 2002, on International Women's Day, as a strong symbol that my life will be full of challenges, but also full of light. My story didn't start with ease. I lost my mother when I was only 3, and my father left me shortly after. Education saved me. At school, I was always among the top students, not because it was easy, but because I knew that knowledge was my key to a better future. As a child, I was full of life and passion for the arts. Dance, theater, music. Art helped me express my emotions. Today, I work as a sales representative in a private company while also studying international relations. There are 3 reasons why I wake up every day. First, my dreams. There is a quote that inspires me. In life, you have only 2 choices. Either you wake up to follow your dreams, or you stay asleep and keep dreaming. I choose to wake up. Every day is a new chance to make the impossible possible. Second, my country, Haiti. I want to be a role model for every young Asian. I want to show them that no matter your background, you can achieve great things. Third, my humanitarian mission. I care deeply about the environment, especially the danger of plastic pollution. My project brings recycling activities into schools. I want children to learn early that the earth is our home and we must protect it. Recycle, educate, act. These are the steps to a greener future. The world must know this. I'm not perfect. I have flaws like everyone, but I work on myself every day. Miss World is not just a beauty contest, it's a platform for strong voices, real values. To my sister, the other contestant, never forget that. Crown doesn't make you a queen. Your strength, your story, your journey, that is your true crown. With or without the crown, you are winners. You believe in yourselves, and that's enough. Today, I stand here strong and proud, carrying the flag of a brave nation and defending a cause greater than myself. Thank you, Miss World. Dahanahad India, Messi Haiti. Thank you to the world for listening.
And thank you, Haiti. Please now welcome Honduras.
Brothers and sisters of the world, the moment that I've been waiting for has finally arrived. I am Isa Sevilla, and I am 19 years old, and I come from a hardworking family who is an entrepreneur. I am fluent and bilingual in English and Spanish, and I'm a student in sign language because I served and provide service to the deaf communities. They have taught me that everyone deserves to be seen, heard, valued, and respected. I am a student also pursuing two university degrees, which are Logistic Management Engineering and International Business. I aspire to work in the agricultural economy of my country, where I stand next to the farmers and help them improve and create opportunities in the production of Honduras. Due to my economic financial situation, I started working at the age of 17. I am a tutor for children in an institution who are from unprivileged backgrounds, children who face similar economic hardships just like me. This made me realize the importance that education creates in our life and how it is important to maintain our values in this way. This is why I started my project and my foundation named 123 Learning, with the purpose of providing quality education for those who feel they don't have access to it because of their problems. Children who face economic hardships, children who don't have the access can go to a school because of many problems that come to their lives. For this reason, also, as an educational transformational leader and dedicated volunteer, I have committed myself to create lasting change in the lives of many children, creating opportunities, hope, and an impact in their lives while I help them realize the importance of education, but also the right to have a secure and empowered future, where we can all build opportunities and have a better future by ourselves if we work hard for it. For this same reason, I understood the importance of having a life purpose. And this is the reason how I find mine, due to my situation and how I can create a lasting change in the lives of many. Because also, like Nelson Mandela once said, education is the powerful weapon we can use to change and uplift the world. This is why I am trying hard to create the building of my foundation, where I can help many children and show to the world we can change it with education and together, united. Thank you.
Thank you, Honduras. Oh, it's time to move to an island in the Caribbean Sea, Jamaica.
Namaste, India, and hello, world. They say that broken crayons still color, but I find that broken girls, when given purpose, can paint the world anew. I am Tajay Bennett, and I'm a 25-year-old law student. I stand here before you today not only as a contestant, but as a product of generations of women who have turned their pain into purpose and power, and their scarcity into strength. I was raised by two incredible women, my mother and my grandmother. They didn't have much, but they always seemed to make something of nothing. My grandmother, with callous hands after years of labor, always manages to put love in every meal, even when the pot seems empty. And my mother, who bore the weight of the world just to ensure that I did not feel its full force. They are my first queens. I carry their legacy in everything that I do. And their resilience was not loud. It was quiet, it was consistent, and it was incredibly strong. My life was not always beautiful. I know what it feels like to fall asleep to the sound of shouting. I know what it feels like to flinch at the sudden slam of a door. I know what it feels like to ache, to feel that constant ache of fear, of confusion. I know what it feels like to feel the constant ache of fear, confusion, and the worst of them all, silence. I grew up in a household that was marked by abuse, where love seemed conditional and safety was not guaranteed. But I made a promise to myself that I would not be defined by what tried to break me, but I will instead let it fuel me. This promise became my beauty with a purpose, the Fix Your Crown initiative that seeks to empower women and young girls like myself who would have faced the harsh realities of gender-based violence. I started this in my hometown, Spanish Town, because I believe that healing starts from the home. I hosted emotional healing workshops where survivors shared their stories that mirrored mine. I took my advocacy to the media to increase government awareness and to gain public support. I marched in the streets to give back voices that were stolen because I believe that through the law, through advocacy, and through love, we can create a world where every woman feels safe and where every woman can wear her crown without shame but with pride. So I'm often asked, how do you do it? How do you smile? How do you walk confidently? How do you still see goodness despite all you have been through? And I would tell them, it's the strength of my mother and the faith of my grandmother. I believe that we are our own healing, and I'm a living testament that your beginning does not define your becoming. So if it is one little girl filled with fear can sit in a room and say, she went through this and she made it out, then I can too. Then I would have already won more than any crown could offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamaica. And now, Martinique. Good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aurélie Joachim, and today I open not just my voice, oh, speak up, we don't understand, but my heart. At 19, I began my journey as a model. In front of the camera, I wore the perfect smile. But behind that smile was a storm. I didn't know how to name it. I felt invisible, numbed, yet expected to shine. Adapting instead of choosing. I was becoming someone else's version of me. I wasn't lost, but I haven't yet found my voice. Then I saw that same silence in someone I love, my brother. He spent years trapped in the darkness of his mind. At home, we don't know how to talk about it. Mental health wasn't a conversation. It was something quiet. We hide in closed door. In 1993, my world fell apart. I lost my job, my health declined, but I made something that was the greatest act of self-love. I asked for help. Therapy wasn't a weakness. It was the first breath of a new beginning. Sorry. Thank you. It was the first breath of a new beginning, like a life where I live with intention and not shame. Okay. That journey led me to create my association, Maison L'Amour. Maison means a house in French, and L'Amour means love in Creole. And that's the mission I have, to offer support, to break the silence and to break the stigmas. Because mental health is not a luxury, it's a human right. In Martinique, early 30% of people struggles with mental health. And in this world, it's 1 in 8. But there are not just numbers, there's lives, there's dreams. I don't have all the answer, but I do know healing begins when you dare to face ourselves. And together we can create a world when every voice is heard. Through Maison L'Amour, I tell my brother and all the silent soul, you are allowed to struggle, and you deserve support, and you deserve to be fully seen. This is my beauty with a purpose, to bring hope where there is silence, to bring dignity where there is shame. Because what we hide consumes us, what we express frees us, and what we share transforms us. Today, I'm no longer afraid because I walk in the light of my purpose, because I finally know who I am. Thank you very much.
Please show your love and support for Martinique. Our next contestant is from Mexico.
Hi everyone. Namaste, India. I am Marieli Leal and I'm from Mexico. And I'm truly happy to be here sharing my life story with all of you. My life hasn't been easy, far from it. I come from a rural community located in Mexico, in Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico. My community is tiny, with only 500 inhabitants, with no opportunities for development or access to a quality education. Even though I was privileged because I was raised by three incredible women: my mom, my grandma, and my aunt with a hearing disability. They are my role model in life, my inspiration. They taught me about resilience in life. Through my work in education in my home state, where I've been involved for several years, I have witnessed the resilience in youth in Sinaloa, my home state. Sinaloa, Mexico, is sadly a place with so much violence. And youth are facing that violence every single day. That's the main reason of my Beauty with a Purpose project, which focuses on promoting and raising awareness about mental health in education. I remember a workshop we carried out in a rural community nearly Culiacan, Sinaloa. I was given a speech about having a project life in front of a classroom. And I remember a young boy interrupted me in the middle of my speech. He told me I had no idea what I was talking about. Yeah. He said that a girl like me, it was clear my privilege, my higher education. He said that a boy like him will never have those opportunities growing up in that rural community. He was angry, sad. He thought that his destiny was already set, just like the same of his community immersed in violence. I remember I approached to him to see his eyes directly, and I shared all my story with him and the rest of the classroom. Where I come from, all the battles I have faced up to that moment in my life. And I will always treasure the light in his eyes, full of hope, when he realized that I was just like him and the other boys and girls in that classroom, fighting every single day to survive in such complicated context. That's why mental health shouldn't be a privilege, mostly in that context, like mine. Mental health should be a right for everyone. That's why I will continue working on that until make mental health care a reality in education, in my home state, in my country, and why not all over the world. That's why I'm here. That's my purpose. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mexico. And next contestant, Nicaragua.
Siempre he considerado que cada uno de nosotros tiene un propósito, solo tiene que saber cuál es.
I've always considered that every single one of us has a purpose. We only need to know what it is.
Hola, soy Birmania Rodríguez y hoy tengo el honor de ser Nicaragua.
Hola, I'm sorry. Hello.
Hola, soy Birmania Rodríguez y hoy tengo el honor de ser Nicaragua.
Hello, I'm Sarah Rodriguez, and today I have the honor to be Miss World Nicaragua.
Me describo en dos palabras como se conoce mi país.
I could describe myself in just two words, as is in my country.
Resiliente y auténtica.
Resilient and authentic.
Crecí en el campo, soy la menor de dos hermanos.
I was brought up in the out of the city, and I am the younger of two brothers.
Ahí aprendí que los sueños solo se vuelven realidad con esfuerzo y constancia.
That's where I learned that dreams come true with time and effort.
El amanecer a través de las montañas me enseñó a que cada día crea en mí.
The waking up between mountains teach me to believe in myself,
tener un corazón dispuesto a servir.
to have a heart with willingness to serve.
Actualmente soy estudiante de marketing y publicidad,
Currently, I'm a student of marketing and publicity.
presentadora de televisión, TV host,
a TV host
de un canal nacional.
in a national channel.
También soy cosmetóloga y emprendedora de corazón.
I'm also a cosmetologist and an entrepreneur of heart.
Tengo mi propia marca llamada Uva,
I have my own brand called Uva,
que nace desde una experiencia personal cuando tuve acné.
It was born from a personal experience when I had acne.
Ahora ayudo a personas que se sientan mejor con su belleza natural.
Now I help people to feel better with their beauty in their natural state.
En este tiempo me he dado cuenta que mi historia de vida inspira a otras personas.
Now I discover that my personal experience can inspire others.
Y hoy quiero decirles a ustedes que me están viendo que eso llena mi corazón de gratitud y compromiso.
Today, I would like to tell to you that are watching me that fulfills my heart with love and gratitude.
Pero lo que más ha marcado mi vida es mi proyecto Sueños en Acción.
But the thing that had marked my life mostly is my project.
Dreams in Action. Ahí ayudo a niños con distintas discapacidades.
With my project, I help children with different disabilities.
Por ejemplo, Dani y Ángel tienen microcefalia.
For example, Danny and Angel have microcephalia.
Axel tiene autismo y Jacqueline deficiencia intelectual.
Axel has autism and
Deficiencia intelectual.
And-
Jacqueline tiene deficiencia intelectual.
and Jacqueline has a deficient.
Estas son algunas de las discapacidades que tienen mis niños de Sueños en Acción.
These are some of the disabilities that some of the children have.
Nosotros hacemos actividades recreativas, terapéuticas,
We prepare different activities for them and also practical activities.
trabajamos junto a organizaciones para proveerle las terapias adecuadas.
We work with different organizations to provide adequate practices,
Diagnósticos y herramientas necesarias,
diagnosis, and necessary tools.
porque creo firmemente que cada uno de mis niños va a alcanzar su máximo potencial.
Because I truly believe that every single one of these children can achieve their maximum potential.
Más tarde nos dimos cuenta que esto no era suficiente.
But after a while, we discovered that this wasn't enough
Porque los padres no tienen un salario estable.
because their parents haven't got enough salary.
Ellos necesitan herramientas y oportunidades
They need tools and opportunities
para crear sus propios ingresos y sustentar la ayuda de los niños que necesitan.
to raise their own money and also have the opportunities that they need.
Es por ello que iniciamos un taller de emprendimiento.
That is why we started with entrepreneurship.
Time.
En este taller, nosotros damos clases de panadería,
What we do, we gave the bakery lessons,
pero no solo le enseñamos a hacer pan, le enseñamos cómo venderlo, cómo presentarlo.
we not only tell them how to prepare or bake bread, but also how to sell.
De esta manera, ellos obtienen ingresos y así pueden sustentar las necesidades de sus hijos.
In that way, they can raise money and also provide for their children,
Ganan dinero con sus propias manos con dignidad,
to earn money with their own hands and with dignity.
que considero que eso es lo más importante que deben de tener los padres de familia, tener esa voz de apoyo y respaldo.
I consider this is the most important thing because they need their voice and respect.
Hoy quiero decirles que lo más importante para mí es la verdadera belleza que radica en nuestras acciones.
Today, what I want to say is that the most beautiful thing is the beauty that radicates in our essence.
Thank you so much.
Right, thank you. Our next contestant is Panama. We obviously allowed a little bit extra time there for translation, but please be aware on your time. 4 minutes is the absolute maximum. So, warm welcome to Panama.
Can you hear me good? Good morning, everyone. Namaste, India, for the people who are watching on YouTube channel. My name is Carol Rodriguez. I'm 22 years old, and I am representing the small but powerful and beautiful country of Panama. I am a model. I am an international relations student. I already finished my degree, so I'm just waiting for the title to come out. And also, I'm an active volunteer and spokesperson at Fundación Unidos por la Niñez, which in English means United for the Children Foundation. There, I've been working for 2 years now, and it has been a journey full of learning, healing, and love. I have to say that I started doing this because I was worried and concerned about the cases of child sexual abuse in my country that are increasing every single day. And it touches my heart, as you can see right now, because it's a very heartbreaking reality that we are living, not only in Panama, not only in my society, but in the whole world. So I started doing my job there as a volunteer. And what we do basically is go to the schools and make workshops and raise awareness, work for the prevention of child sexual abuse, so people can listen about this. Because what we need to do is to break the silence that keeps child sexual abuse hidden. Because when we break the silence, the pain is going to go, you know? And I can say that because I said I was going to be brave enough to do this because I was also a victim at its lowest level, because child sexual abuse has a lot of levels. And I never knew I was a victim until I got to understand and know and learn about child sexual abuse when I was at the foundation. So I have to say that education, speaking about that, knowing about that, can save so many lives and can help heal our souls, just as it did for me. Because out there, I can promise you that all of you, girls and judges, know someone who has been sexually abused in some point of their lives, in different levels, but they don't even know it. And as I did, I grew up thinking that something was wrong with me, that I was the one who had a different mind or something, feeling that it was my fault. But I have to say that it was not my fault, and none of the victims are responsible of those things. And I'm here not to promote myself. I'm not here to put flowers into my Beauty with a Purpose project or something. I'm here to give a message to the whole world so people can listen and people can know about child sexual abuse. We need to break the silence. We need to play against that because it's a true problem of our societies. But the worst part is that it's silent, a silent enemy that no one's want to talk about because I understand it's a tough topic. It's heartbreaking. But when we find the courage to talk about tough things, we can make a difference. We can change the world for the better. And as I am doing right now, I hope that all of you go back to your countries and give this message to the children, to your communities, to make sure that every boy, every girl, and every young adult grows in the best way possible. Because this is not only about numbers, statistics, we're talking about lives, children, people, souls who are being break. It's breaking the people's souls. So we need to do something. And what we all can do is speak, talk, raise our voice for it. And we are going to make a change. Trust me, just by speaking, you all are saving a life. Sharing information on social media or wherever you can, it's going to change something and it's going to save a life. So that's the message I want to give you all today. And thank you so much for listening to me. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity. So I hope that my message is touching your hearts.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so much.
much, Panama. Thank you. Now, coming to the stage in a bit of a hurry here. There we are. She wants to get this over with as quickly as possible. Welcome, Paraguay.
Thank you. Namaste. Good morning. I am Janina Gomez, and I am proudly a lawyer and a teacher. I have had the joy to teach 100 children. I taught under a tree, under a tin rose, in schools with more hope than resources. I remember an indigenous girl when I finished my teaching internship. She watched to me at a distance outside to the school. And after, when I finish my class, I will go with she, I told. She told me, teacher, I told, yes. She was only 13 years old, but he had his baby, his own baby, in her arms. After, I invited she to come to my class. I told, you can come. And 3 years after, she said to me, Bohara, mean in indigenous languages Guarani teacher. I want to be like you because you made me feel I am martyred. That day, I understood my life mission. In 2020, I founded my own social project called Ñamopona Paraguay. This project focused to improving education to indigenous community. In Paraguay, only 1 in 10 indigenous children finish basic education, and the 70% to indigenous children live in extreme poverty, and this we can allow. For this reason, I founded my own project, and today we got more than 300 scholarships every year. We build in school and roads, but the most importantly, we bring in hope for these children. And today, I am here not only represent to Paraguay, I represent to all teachers around the world who decide to fight in silence for a better world because it's a beauty has a purpose, let it be. Touch life, awake dreams, and always believe in the power to the education because it's the only form you can change the world. Thank you, Aguille, and Namaste.
Wow. Thank you very much, Paraguay. There was no need to rush. You did very well there. Now, please welcome Peru.
Hello, my name is Stacy Wamansisa, Miwar, Peru, 2025. I hold a master's degree in logistics and transportation engineering. I come from a country that celebrates diversity from its mountains, its jungle, and its people. Today I'm here representing my country, but also representing my inspiration, Katona. Katona is my aunt. She has an intellectual disability. When my grandmother passed away, my family and I took care of her. We experienced the pain of exclusion, and that really hurts. Sorry. But then something remarkable happened. When her environment changed, her body responded. The tumor she had in her mouth caused by stress begins to shrink. Because when love, respect, and care are present, healing begins. This personal journey led me to this project. We work with people with different disabilities to help them become more independent, discover their talents, and find spaces where they are seen, heard, and valued. Together with Fundación Calma and OMAPET in my country, in Peru, we have a center where we offer more than 10 workshops, cultural workshops, like dancing, acting, sports, etc. Also, we offer psychologists, nutritionists, and we support caregivers, because I truly believe that no one is born knowing how to be a parent. We also organize inclusive fashion shows, fairs, and public events where their art crafts like this and presence are celebrated. Katona is a reality, but also my dream is to create the first sensory school of fashion and emotional beauty in the world. I want to become an ambassador of beauty with inclusion. Create a space where people with disability don't just model, but also to have the opportunity to design clothes where their emotion, inspired by their emotions, create makeup that reflects how they feel inside, and finally redefine the runway, turning into a sensory, emotional, and artistic experience. Because beauty is also a language, but today I speak with my heart in my hands, with Katona stories beating in every word. She told me that the most beautiful things are not always seen, but they are always felt. My name is Stacy Omancisa, and I believe that the greatest beauty is not in what we show, but in what we transform. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peru. And now we move to the host of the 70th Miss World. And we all remember very well our time in Puerto Rico. Just wait 1 minute while somebody clears through there. Fast-moving traffic. There we are. Oh, you should have done that fast in the sports. You could have won. There we are. Estonia, that would have been a match for. Right, Puerto Rico.
Thank you for that introduction. For as long as I can remember, my biggest dream has been to leave a mark on the world. It has been my biggest desire. And I've learned through it all that the root of it is deeper than that. It is not the mark that you leave on the world, it's the mark that finds you. It touches your soul and transforms your life for the better. Through all my life, I grew up tied to a stage. Since I was 8 years old, I started studying classical ballet, and I played the violin with the same passion. Then science found me. I became a biologist, now pursuing a master's degree in medical technology. Now, today, I'm a teacher. I teach chemistry and biology in my country's public schools. But arts and sciences didn't just shape my path, they upheld me. When my mother was diagnosed with cancer, violin became our refugee. She used to say that when I played the violin, for a split second, the pain disappeared, and all that was left was her, me, and the music. I also love languages. If I could use a superpower, I think it would be to speak every language in the world. But for now, I speak Spanish, I speak English, basic Korean, basic sign language, and slowly but surely, and with the help of a few people here, I'm learning Portuguese. I adore singing, dancing, acting, painting, crocheting, basically everything that helps me to express myself and allows me to express and share my feelings. But I not only want to share my story, I want to share my purpose. And I want to talk specifically about somebody that moves me. That is my cousin Joselito. Joselito isn't just my first cousin. He's the one that taught me what unconditional love is and the magic of life. I watch him grow, I watch him laugh, but I watch him struggle. And I watched him be unfairly stigmatized and stereotyped before and through a society that doesn't understand or doesn't fully understand the beauty of functional diversity. Joselito has Down syndrome. He's different, yes, but what does being different truly mean? I think if we're all present and we seize this moment, we look at one another and we can see that we're definitely different, right? But there's power in uniqueness. And it is not a bad thing, it's not a problem. Through my whole life, my family and I have been joined in different causes supporting and empowering social and beautiful projects that focus on functional diversity and empowerment of Down syndrome. This is not something new, it's something that has been in my life through generations. And it is a beautiful cause and a beautiful value that I cherish. Thanks to this commitment, I had the honor of working with a foundation in Puerto Rico that focuses on empowerment and embracing this beautiful community. Now, according to recent US data, 21.7% of Puerto Ricans have some sort of functional diversity. And thanks to all these activities, like we have been doing arts, activities like theater, we have impacted more than 300 participants within the foundation. They say I changed their lives, but truly, they changed mine. They showed me that there are no limits and that dreams do come true. And you don't need an empire to create a change in the world. A smile, a few tears of joy, and a graceful look made me realize that I was fulfilling my purpose and that that mark had found me in that moment. There are no limits to us. Amongst our most cherished activities, we organized a talent show in which many step on a stage for the first time and showcase their talents and showcase bravery. It was a true spectacle of courage, and I wish you could have seen the faces of the parents on the crowd. They were filled with joy and gracefulness because I think parents in this situation are also the heroes because they have worked really hard and to bring a full and shine bright for their kids during, their development. So they're a really important part of this too.
Time.
Now, my vision and legacy I want to leave in the world is to propose the creation of the second foundation of Down syndrome in Puerto Rico in the southern areas because people with Down syndrome deserve a place to shine no matter the zip code they live in. They deserve to fly without limits, and I am the instrument that love chooses to play because since what I've heard and what I've said from the beginning, I live to serve and I serve to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Puerto Rico. And our next contestant, Suriname. So please welcome to the stage, Suriname.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, world. My name is Shanela Roosendaal. I am a proud Surinamese woman, and it is both an honor and a responsibility to stand here today as Miss World Suriname 2025, representing my beautiful country, Suriname, in a time of challenge and hope. I am a student studying international relations. I'm a pharmacy employee. I'm an IT teacher. I teach IT in the summer to children who do not have access to technology. My country is rich in nature. Almost 90% of my country is still green. We are rich in culture. But today we face an economic crisis that has left many people behind, especially our children. Government funding is scarce. Orphanages, they struggle daily to provide basic necessities. But this is what defines us. Suriname doesn't wait for change. We create it. That is why my Beauty with a Purpose project, Nutrition for a Better Life, is more than just a charity. We set an example that when a community comes together, we can rise above. With local partners, we are teaching Suriname how to change itself. So we started with Orphanage Liliendal, where we provided nutritious meals. We also train our workers, volunteers to also cater to the emotional needs that the children have. You can provide meals for a child, but they can still crave emotional connection because humans are social creatures. We also rally businesses and diaspora to adopt these orphanages. With Orphanage Liliendal, we are setting the blueprint for other orphanages and people. Look what a big change a small group made. Now imagine a united front. Suriname has taught me that unity is strength. We came together, different cultures. Now we can come together again for this survival. To the world, I want to say, see us, hear us, learn from us. Because a child that is hungry is not just Suriname's problem, but a humanity's test. I want to end this with a saying that is very popular in my country. The children of today are the future of tomorrow. Thank you.
There we are. Thank you very much, Suriname. And, well, talking of fast, we have our sprint champion. Oh, it's one of them, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, world. Namaste. I am Annalise Nansen, and I proudly represent my beautiful twin island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. I wear many hats. I'm an engineer, an athlete, a performer, a humanitarian. But at my core, I'm a big sister, and that role defines me more than any title ever could. I come from a large family. I'm the eldest of 8 children. And being a big sister to so many younger ones, I've always felt that my purpose was to help, guide, and protect. That spirit of service led me to start volunteering with my grandmother at a young age at charity events in my community. When I moved to England on a scholarship to study civil engineering, I also wanted to help in my new community, and I started volunteering with a charity that tutored underserved students. This program changed my life, and I still remember the face of every child that I worked with. It showed me just how transformative education can be. But I believe education is more than just academics. Sport can also play a crucial role in young people's development. In my own life, sport has been transformative. It taught me determination, resilience, confidence, and it gave me a community and a sisterhood that uplifted me when I was at my lowest. And I know we all felt that spirit of camaraderie at the Miss World Sports Challenge just a few days ago. Sport also taught me how to take care of my health. It deepened my appreciation for the environment, the importance of clean air, and protecting the natural world which sustains us. I chose to be a civil engineer because I wanted to help build a more sustainable world, to help protect both our people and our planet. This is also why I founded my nonprofit organization, The Ripple Effect. My Beauty with a Purpose project aims to empower women and build sustainable communities through sport and education, especially for vulnerable women and children. Some of the ripples that I've started in my community include an artificial intelligence tutoring platform that helps to support vulnerable children and migrant children with access to personalized learning in multiple languages. Many migrant children face language barriers when accessing formal education, and this platform helps to ensure that no child is left behind. I've also started my own Learn to Swim initiative, helping to teach the life-saving skill of swimming to children in care homes across my country. This program not only teaches them a life-saving skill, but also gives them a space to feel seen, uplifted, and supported. In my commitment to sustainability, I've launched my own podcast where I speak about the importance of sustainable building practices and using local construction materials. I've also combined wellness with environmental action through my Hike and Plant initiative, where together with volunteers, we planted over 300 native tree species, helping to reforest an area damaged by wildfires. My commitment to empowering women does not end with the Ripple Effect. I also serve as the youngest board member for The Shelter, a nonprofit organization that supports victims who've experienced domestic violence and abuse. In working with these women and hearing their stories, I continue to be inspired by their courage and resilience. And I am currently working on building a skills training program that helps them to rebuild their lives and gain financial independence. Sometimes the world can seem overwhelming. There's so much conflict, inequality, and injustice. But as my mother always said, many hands make light work. And each of us here today has started something. We've used our hands and our hearts to create lasting change in our communities. That's what Beauty with a Purpose is all about. Each of us here has started something, and together we are proving that every ripple, every small action, when combined, can create a global wave of change. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I thought, there we are. I think it was going to be 4 minutes for Trinidad and 4 minutes for Tobago there, but well done. And now we come to the last two in this morning session. Please welcome the United States.
My grandmother had a saying, a shrimp that falls asleep gets carried away by the current. Now, I'm no shrimp, but I did have to swim quite a ways to get here today. Like a creature crossing the ocean, each one of us arrives here by way of our own improbable journey, a path where the unlikely becomes possible through resilience, faith, and courage. And to understand my journey, you have to meet the people whose stories are forever woven into mine. My grandmother, the one with all the sayings, grew up in the Andes Mountains of Venezuela in a home made of dirt walls. She worked as a housekeeper, never having the chance to go to school or learn how to read. But when she had my mom, Tessie, she made it her mission to give her daughter the chance she never had, an education. And my mom made the most of that chance. She studied hard, and when the time came, she set her sights on a university all the way in Provo, Utah. With little more than her faith in God and her American dream, she journeyed to begin a new life in the United States. When she arrived, she didn't speak a word of English. But once she learned, she used her new vocabulary to flirt with an American man, my dad Wilson. And the rest, as they say, is history. I was raised in a multicultural home where languages, countries, and traditions all blended together to form one family. My parents, my two brothers, Alston and Adrian, and me. Adrian, my younger brother, has taught me more about life than anyone else. He also inspired my Beauty with a Purpose project. Adrian has autism, a neurological condition that affects communication, social interaction, and the way he perceives the world. While he's brought so much joy to our family, it's also brought on some challenges. At just 13, Adrian was a schoolboy trying to make friends. One day he picked up a rock and scratched his nickname, ADRX, into the sidewalk, hoping to leave his mark and be remembered as a legend. But instead of friendship, he was met with handcuffs. The police were called, a citation was issued, and Adrian was arrested for vandalism. Because of his disability, he didn't understand how what he did was wrong. But instead of compassion, he was met with punishment. You see, that day changed my life. It was the moment I knew I had to fight for people with disabilities. My Beauty with a Purpose project, ADRX, tells my brother's story and calls for acceptance, inclusion, and a world where empathy leads the way. Through over a decade of service with organizations that fight for disability rights like Best Buddies and lobbying my hometown to recognize April as Autism Awareness Month, I've become an agent for change. Disability equity isn't just a personal value to me, it's a global need. And for so many, dignity remains just out of reach. But that's why I'm here today, to bridge the gap across cultures, industries, and generations with 4 simple letters, ADRX. My family is everything to me. I am the woman I am today because they taught me that the circumstances of our birth need not dictate the arc of our lives. Thank you to my grandmother, who began learning how to read at age 50. And she read and she read and she studied for her citizenship test, and she became a United States citizen at 85 years old in the last year of her life. Thank you to my mother, who arrived in our country not knowing the language, but went on to become not just a college graduate, but an English teacher. Who would have thought that the daughter of an immigrant and the granddaughter of a maid could be on her own improbable journey and become Miss World United States? That's me, Athena Crosby. And lastly, thank you to my brother Adrian, who hoped that by scribbling his initials on that sidewalk, he would become a legend. Well, today, Adrian, you are.
Thank you, United States, and of course, Adrian. Wish him well. And finally, extra special cheer because it says, finally, Venezuela.
An authentic heart opens path and inspires hope no matter the obstacles. And for me, true beauty is not about physical appearance. It's about what you inspire with it. It's your essence. My name is Valeria Cagnabo. I'm 24 years old, fashion designer representing the beautiful country of Venezuela. And since I was a young girl, I understood the importance of essential values to be integrated in our daily life. Today, UNESCO study reports that over 40% of children worldwide suffer from the consequences of growing up in violent environments. And this can lead to them to develop problems such as anxiety, depression, and fear. This can limit them at the same time to not taking advantage of life opportunities or quality education. However, I feel that there is a solution for this matter, and this is called integral education, the ones that nurtures not only brilliant minds, but also conscious hearts. When we educate children with respect, empathy, dignity, self-confidence, and non-violence, we are ensuring a better future for our society. We are ensuring women and men of success, women and men that knows that the only limits that they have are the ones that they put on themselves, not the ones that others put on them. and also women and men that are going to know how to relate respectfully and peacefully with other people and with them. I have partnered with people and organizations who share this vision, such as Fe y Alegría, a proudly Venezuelan educational institution that is now over 20 countries worldwide, and also the Gandhi Center, who brings emotional intelligence into the classroom. I have worked with them and with children of a vulnerable community in Caracas, Venezuela, and I have seen the very good result in them and the transformation in them. And these results give me the motivation for continuing advocating for quality education, because I want every children in the world to have access to it and to know that they can achieve anything they want in life if they trust in themselves. At 14, I wrote my first story, The Crystal Princess, and it talks about self-transformation and essential values. I wrote it at the time because it was my hobby, and I didn't expect this to fit very well with my project because it talks about essential values and self-transformation, and sometimes children can learn quicker and faster when they have something illustrated, more fun and more dynamic. I didn't expect this hobby to be a very powerful and essential tool in my purpose or in delivering my message. With my platform and with my voice, I want every children in the world to have access to integral education, to know that they are valuable, that they are capable of achieving anything that they want in life, and also to know if they have ever felt like they didn't fit in, it's because they're destined to stand out. I am here today because I believed in me, and I know that every children in the world can also achieve anything they want in all their dreams if they trust in themselves. Thank you so much. Dhanabad, India.
Thank you, Venezuela. Well done. And fantastic first session. We've learnt a lot today. And I don't know if the ladies of Americas and Caribbean can all stand up together and we can all give them a big round of applause. Congratulations, ladies. Brilliant presentations. Yeah, well done. Well done indeed. Now, we will be taking a break for lunch, and we shall be beginning again in just over an hour's time. I would say that we shall be beginning again at 1:30. 1:30 we'll be starting again. Okay? So that this afternoon will be with Africa. So be ready, Africa. In fact, I'd say that it's more like 1:15. So it'd be 1:15 for Africa. So those watching. The lunch now is on the 5th floor. So we'll take you down now to the 5th floor. And I think it's been prepared by your friends at the Trident, who are now waiting for you on the 5th floor. So break till 1:15.